Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Voyage Elite from around the world. We welcome you. My name is J.J. Conway, and for the next few minutes, I'm going to explain to you about a global vacation club that makes it possible for you to vacation in some of the finest hotels and resorts there are in existence in the world, and do it for prices so low that they cannot be advertised anywhere on earth. Welcome to one of the best kept secrets in the entire vacation industry. Welcome to Voyage Elite. We're going to show you how it's possible for you to vacation just like the rich and the famous do. And we're going to show you how you can do it sometimes for as little as $100, not a day for a hotel room, but for as little as $100 for an entire week, 8 days and 7 nights in a suite with 2 or 3 bedrooms on the ocean in a 5-star resort. Sound too good to be true? I hear it every day. Guess what? It's not. It's so good, you need to be involved. So let's tell you how we work. With Voyage Elite, we have a vacation center that our members go to, and they now have access to all sorts of different package deals that they can purchase at incredibly below wholesale prices. These package deals that we have include food, they include drink, they include sometimes horseback riding, all sorts of water sports, sometimes his and her massages. They're all included on these different package deals, and we have different package deals every single week. And that's just one of our basic search engines that we have. With Voyage, when you travel the globe with us, on average, you'll receive a 60 to 90% discount on the resort or hotel that you're staying in. Whether you're going to the Greek islands, the Mediterranean, South America, Paris, London, Asia, Europe, South Africa, it doesn't matter. Mexico, you're going to get a 60 to 90% off when you vacation in these luxury accommodations. These are fantastic places. Now, how do we do it? You know, we do it the same way Costco does it. You know how you're able to buy your food and clothing and other things like big screen TV sets so much cheaper at Costco and Sam's Clubs and Walmart? They buy their things in bulk. So does Voyage Elite. We'll go into a 3, 4, or 5-star resort property somewhere in the world, and we'll buy 50 or 100 rooms that they have. Usually they're suites or condos. We'll buy them in bulk, get an amazing price, and then give that price to our members. And we do that every single week around the world in 190 countries plus. Hundreds of thousands of accommodations, over 3 million weeks a year that our members have available to them in some of the best places that you can possibly imagine. 90% of the time when you vacation with Voyage, you're going to be staying in suites and condominiums and sometimes even bungalows right on the sand, right on the ocean, and doing it for $300, $400, maybe $500 for the entire week. We have 3 separate booking engines. Book a condo, which has a couple 100,000 different accommodations that you can book for $295 to $1,250. Our 60-day out program usually has between 3,000 and 5,000 hotels to choose from every week. And then we have what we call our hot weeks. These are first come, first serve. All of these are 7 days, or I should say 8 days and 7 nights. Our hot weeks are our best deals because they're sometimes as little as $100 for an entire 8 days in a 5-star, 4-star condominium. Now, this is just an example of what a regular person might pay with standard rate and what our people pay as a member. Now, you're being shown prices for the week, not for the day. Okay? Prices for the week and not for the day with these. And these, like I said before, are your high-end. They're 3, 4, and 5-star properties around the world. On our 60-day out program, just to give an example here of what you're looking at, when you go to our 60-day out program, let's just take the Lido Mar Resort here. Our members will pay $394 for the entire week at that property. If you just pulled in off the street or booked it online through a discount website, you might pay as much as $2,450 to stay there. Now with Bon Voyage, we're going to be able to show you all sorts of different deals like this. We're also going to be able to show you the actual resort itself, what it looks like, where it's at. We're going to be able to show you exactly what your accommodation looks like when you go there and when you stay there. So there's no surprises whatsoever. We'll tell you all the different things that they may have available for you while you're there. We'll tell you what you might be close to if you're right on the beach or if you're close to the jungle. We'll be able to let you know all of these so there's no surprises whatsoever when you travel with Bon Voyage, no matter where you go in the world. Now, we will fill your scrapbook for prices that you won't believe. This is one of the most affordable vacations that you could ever take. So what does it all cost? What's the fee to travel Bon Voyage? Well, here it is, folks. You have a one-time price with Bon Voyage, one time and one time only. It's only $545. That's right. No, there is no monthly fee. No, you don't have to pay $545 a year. The fee is a one-time fee. The fee is only $545, and that's it forever. So imagine, now when you compare this to the other things that's out there, you know you could go stay in a Holiday Inn or a Motel 6 right now. Their fees are somewhere between $85 and $149 to $169 a night. You spend 3 days there, you've paid our membership off. If you use Bon Voyage one time on one vacation, it pays for itself in savings alone on one vacation. And with Bon Voyage, you can vacation as many times a year as you want to. You can take 10 or 15 different week vacations if you'd like. You can go for 1, 2, or 3 days if you would like. You can book 5 or 6 suites at the same time at the same resort and have a family reunion if you would like. That's Bon Voyage. And guess what? The amazing stuff don't stop there. With our company, this is without question, we are the most affordable alternative to timeshare around the world. You know, the average cost of a timeshare now is $19,500 with an average somewhere around, somewhere between $500 and $1,200 a year for the annual maintenance fee. With Bon Voyage Elite, you're actually getting not 1 week a year, but as many weeks a year as you would like. You have no blackout dates. You don't have to worry about if you have a red time or a blue time. You don't have to worry about how many points you have. The beautiful part about Bon Voyage as well, you don't have to sit through a 3-hour high-pressure sales pitch. You don't have to come up with 25 grand and then another $800 a year in maintenance fees. You're not limited to just 1 week a year. Okay? And here's another big thing about timeshare you'll learn once you get in. Trying to get to where you want to go, when you want to get there, sometimes you have a better chance to see God or get bit by a dinosaur. Because they'll be the first to admit, unless you have really high points, getting yourself to Hawaii or Disney World or Rome or any of these places, oh, I'm sorry, you just don't have enough points, or your hotel or your resort it's not high enough on the clout factor to get you there. Not with Bon Voyage. None of that matters. With us, we will get you there. No matter where it is that you want to go, we are the global alternative to timeshare, and for good reason. Now, it doesn't stop there either. With our company, so many people who do not know that we even exist, especially now since we've just started what we call our wave compensation program with the leadership bonus that's attached to it now, which is only 30 days old. So nobody even knows of our existence at this point. We have now one of the most lucrative programs on planet Earth. Now, I don't ask you to feel the same way about it that I do, but what I do ask you to do is give it a hearing, and you make your own decision, and you be the judge. I'm going to take 3 or 4 minutes and explain to you exactly how this program works. We wanted to make it as simple as possible. That means that for you to become somebody who can represent Bon Voyage to the public, it's only going to cost you $50 a year for your own home-based business. So you're going to have your own home-based business. It's going to be $50 a year, and that's it. There are no other fees. Now, as what we call an IBO, independent business owner, you're now going to receive commission for every time you tell someone about Bon Voyage. So, let's talk about it. This is Amanda. Let's say Amanda goes and talks to someone about Bon Voyage Elite. They get excited. They decide to join. We will pay Amanda $100. She talks to someone else. We'll pay her another $100. She talks to a third person. We'll pay her another $100. That's simple. That's our wave. With Bon Voyage, a wave consists only of 3 people. That's it. Once you bring in 3 people, 3 spots are filled in a wave sequence. You now, at this point, have completed the wave. We pay a bonus once you bring 3 people to Bon Voyage. That bonus is called a wave completion bonus of $200. So every 3 people that you introduce to Bon Voyage Elite, we're going to pay you $500. Now, this is the first time, and by the way, this is the only time. It only goes up from here. It only goes up from here. But this is how it works. You fill 3 spots, you get a wave compensation bonus. The $100 amount changes the first 5 times you do it. I'm going to explain that here in a moment. So, now we've got you in the water. So let's go on from here. With Bon Voyage, we're going to slide you right now into the overall compensation program, which is second to none on any other travel club in the world and most other networking companies in the world. So let me show you how it works. With Bon Voyage Elite, as an independent business owner, an IBO, when you introduce your first 3 people, you're going to make $100 commission on each one of them. You're going to get a $200 wave cycle bonus, which means that you're going to make on that cycle, you're going to receive $500. You're getting no override on your downline that you have just created. But even on these first people, when that person that you brought in, let's say you brought in Joey. Joey goes out and gets 3 people, and he cycles, and he makes a $500 paycheck. With Bon Voyage, you're going to make, if you take your $500, you're going to make $167 on his paycheck. That means you make 33% of the paycheck of the people under you. Think about that for a minute. Whenever they get a check for $1, you get 33 cents. If they get a check for $1,000, you get $330. If they get a check for $10,000, you're going to get $3,300 forever. And that's only at this level. It only gets better from here. Once you've completed a wave, now remember, a wave is only 3 people. You become an ensign after you complete just 1 wave. As an ensign, listen to this now. This is very important. As an ensign, it now doubles your commission. Your commission now goes from $100 to $200 on every person that you introduce to Bon Voyage. Just by introducing 3 people, your commission doubles. You're now making $800 every 3 people that you introduce to Bon Voyage. And for the very first time, this is what's the most exciting about our company. You now make an override of $100 on every person that those 3 people introduce to Bon Voyage, and another $100 on every people that those people underneath them introduce, and so on, and so on, and so on to infinity. Somebody 80 levels deep to you signs up 3 people, you make $300. Folks, that is an enormous amount of money, and the more you understand it, the more exciting it becomes. Now, when they get a $500 paycheck, your IBO makes a $500 paycheck, you are going to receive $467. You make 93% of their paycheck. Okay? Their paycheck on 3 people is $500. Your paycheck for the same 3 people is going to be $467. That's just as an ensign. Now, as a lieutenant, you've completed 2 waves. Your pay now goes to $225. Your cycle goes to $875. You're now making $125 in override on everyone that can come in underneath those people forever to infinity. You're making 108% of their paycheck. They're getting a paycheck for 3 people for $500. Your paycheck for those same 3 people is $542. Like I said before, our compensation program is second to none, folks. You don't have to bring in 12 or 13 people. You don't have to bring in 3 people on the left and 3 people on the right in order for you to get paid or anything of that nonsense. This is not a binary. It's not a 2x2. It's not an Australian tel. This is a hybrid. The wave compensation program, there's nothing else out there like it. Once you've completed 3 waves, you're a commander now. You make $250 when you introduce someone to Voyage. You make $950 when you have 3 people that you've introduced, and you make $150 in overrides on everyone below you. As a captain, you make 4 waves. You've completed them. You have $275 as your base commission. You're making $1,025 on 3 people. You're making $175 in override and 138% of their paycheck. When they get a paycheck for bringing in 3 people for $500, your paycheck is $692. As an admiral with 5 waves, you now make $300. And that's $1,100 for every 3 people you introduce, and you're currently going to make $200 on every single person they bring in and every single person those people bring in to infinity. That gets lucrative. You're making 153% of their paycheck. When you get to a point, which many people do, where you have 200 people a month coming into your organization, you will now start to earn another 2% override on your entire company, everyone underneath you. So that means that one person who is a committed person, who's a super recruiter, who's a super builder, one person can make you rich. Things that can't happen in other types of companies because those companies are binaries or whatever. You have to get 3 on the left and 3 on the right. If you brought in Tony Robbins and he got 20,000 people and he made $1 million, if you didn't bring in 20,000 people on the right side, you may have only made $6,000 this year. Well, your major recruiter made $1 million. Well, not in Voyage. In Voyage, there's a good chance you made, first off, the least amount of money you would have made on Tony Robbins' massive recruiting effort with our company would have been $300,000 plus. There's a good chance you would have made closer, though, to $500,000 when you have a major recruiter. Show me another company out there, even the ones with matching bonuses that only go down 3 or 4 levels. Remember, we go to infinity with what we pay to our folks. Once you become an admiral, which is only 15 people, once you become an admiral, when Amanda becomes an admiral, it takes about 30 days if you're working. Now things change considerably. Now when you bring someone in, you make $300. When you bring in 3 people, you've made $900. You still get your wave completion bonus, but now you're making $1,100. But don't forget, now as an admiral, you're getting an override on everything that they do. So that means when Jim goes out and brings in 3 people, Jim's going to make $100 on those 3 people, but you're going to make $200. That's going to be your commission, Amanda, the admiral. Now Jim will cycle back. So when Jim comes to your brand new wave, Jim's going to get you another $100. So when Jim goes out and gets 3 people, you just made $700 from Jim's efforts. Okay? Now, if Sherry does the same thing, you can make another $700. Steve does the same thing, another $700. Guess what? They all 3 cycled back to you, completed a wave again. You're going to get another wave completion bonus of $200. If you do the math, that's $2,300 that you've made in override commissions. If you put that together with the $300 that you made on each of them when you came in, you get 3 who duplicate your efforts. You make $3,400 on 3 people. Let me say that again. I believe it's significant. I believe it's important. You make $3,400 on 3 people. And that's the way it continues forever. You never go down in rank. Once you're an admiral, you're always an admiral. Okay? And again, you can get there to the admiral ranking usually within a 30-day time frame if you're working. Now, understanding how this thing works is fairly simple. As an admiral, when you bring in 3 people and make $1,100, once that person, let's say Mr. Red over here, brings in 3 people, he's going to cycle back to your new wave now. You made $600. He comes to your new wave. As soon as he lands on your new wave, you get paid another $100 in leadership bonus. The same thing happens with Mr. Green and Mr. Blue. You get your wave completion bonus. There's your $3,400. And this continues forever. With Bon Voyage, even on people just coming back to you is $500. Every time you get 3 people, even if you brought them in last year or 2 years ago, them coming back to you is $500. So let's kind of break it down to the ridiculous so that you can get a really good understanding of how much money is truly in front of you. These are gold bars I'm laying at your feet. You have but bend over and pick them up. Folks, if you were an admiral, you brought in 1 person. That person brought in 3. Those 3 brought in 9. And of the 9, only 1 of them decided to go to work, full or part-time. It doesn't matter. But let's say at the end of 30, 60, or 90 days, whatever, there was 96 people in your organization. No matter where these people are in your organization, with just 96 people, which is not a lot, as you know if you've been in networking, but with just 96 people in Bon Voyage, you've made almost $25,000 with less than 100 people. Most people in a networking company, if they get a few people involved, that they'll generally have somewhere between 250 and 800 people in their first year, unless they're real builders, and those people might have thousands or so, but the average person certainly does not. But the average person does have between 2 and 800, because you're going to find some people that are actually going out and working the business a little bit. But when you find out that just this small number of people can generate a very huge return in Bon Voyage, it makes us a very attractive business to anybody that looks at it. Not because we have a wonderful product, which we do, but because of what we now pay our members for introducing our product to people. So, real quick review. Jim comes in as an IBO. He brings in 3 people. He makes $100 each on the people he brings in. He's going to make a cycle bonus of $200. He's going to make a wave payout of $500. He gets only the cycle money on these first 3 people. Okay, not an override, but every time they cycle, they will come back to him forever. So once he's brought in 3 people, he now becomes an ensign. He now makes $200 every time he signs someone up. He makes $800 every time he cycles, because there's a $200 cycle bonus. And now he earns $100 on these 3 people. Every time they sign up someone, every time the people they sign up someone, every time those people sign up someone, all the way down to infinity forever. This becomes very lucrative. Now, beginning with his 7th person, he's a lieutenant. He's now earning $225 on the people that he signs up. He's getting a payout of $875 on the 3 people that he brings in. He now has an override of $125 on these 3 people forever. Now, he then becomes a commander. As a commander, he's making $250. He's getting paid $950 on a payout. He has an override of $150. He then becomes a captain after 3 people. He now makes $275 in commission. His payout is $1,025 on 3 people coming on board. He makes $175 every time somebody comes underneath him on these 3 people. Now, then he becomes an admiral. As an admiral, you now make $300 on every person. So you sign up 3 people, you make $900 plus your $200 wave completion bonus. You make $1,100 on 3 people. You're now earning $200 every time Mr. Red up here goes out and gets 3 people. You just made $600. He's going to cycle back to you. You're going to make another 100. You make $700. If the 3 people that Mr. Red signed up went out and get 3 people each, on those 27 people, you're going to make $200 on each one of them. If those 27 go get 3 people, you're going to make $200 on the 81 people that they get, and so on and so on. Now, so let's look at this admiral. Once you become an admiral, the money does not stop. So let's assume for a second that this guy down here, let's say his name is Paul, And let's say that he is an admiral and he recruited Jim as an IBO. So understand and walk with me through the money. When Jim brought in these 3 people, Paul, this admiral, made $200 on each one of these people. So when they came on, he's going to make $200 on these 3 people and $200 on the 3 people that they each bring in, and so on and so forth to infinity. But once Jim becomes an ensign, this admiral down here does not stop making money on him. But what he does make is the difference in the $300 payout, because now Jim is going to be getting 200 of that 300, but now this Admiral Paul will be getting 100 on these 3 people and their 3 people and so on. And this same math works all the way up the line. Now, in every single company out there, when a person normally gets to the same rank as you, let's say that when Paul brought Jim in and Jim was an IBO, Paul started making money at each one of these levels. But in normal companies, okay, whether they're binary companies or others, what happens is this. What happens normally is Paul would stop making money completely on everyone in Jim's downline. So let's say Jim has 3,000 people in his downline by the time he becomes an admiral, hypothetically. At that point in another company, believe it or not, you would stop making money on Jim entirely, and he would break away, is what they call it, break away from you. And even though you've devoted time, energy, effort, and trained this person with great leadership, guess what? That person now has nothing to do with you, and you no longer can earn as much as a dime from him and all of his people. Not in Voyage. In Voyage Elite, not only does Jim stay under you forever and you make $100 every time he cycles back to you over and over and over again, and sometimes admirals cycle 2 or 3 times a day. So that's $500 a day you might make from an admiral who is cycling because of downline activity. But not only do you have that income, but you also have the income of the 15 people and what they are continuing to generate to infinity forever, because you're always going to make the overrides on those people, even when Jim becomes an admiral. You are never shut off. That financial faucet in Voyage never gets shut off. Folks, that faucet can amount to an awful lot of money. If you are an admiral and you bring someone in and you start to collect a team, remember, as an admiral, when you do a personal recruit, you personally make $300. When that person goes out and brings in 3 people, you as the admiral, not the recruiter, you as the admiral above this person are going to make $200 on the 3 people they bring in. Those people who go out and get 3 people, you're going to make $200 on those people, and so on and so forth to infinity. Now, why is that significant? You know, yesterday, I had someone who's a major player in the networking industry for the last 30 years come to my office at the World Trade Center. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the company that she was in. I will tell you she was with them for 7 years. And I asked her, how much money did you make in that 7 years? She said, well, JJ, I have 153,000 people in my organization. And I've made a little over $2 million in the last 7 years, which was very, very impressive. And she believed it to be so as well, until I showed her this chart. If she was in Voyage and she had the same number of people, well, let me just show you. With us, I'm not going to go down 30, 40, or 50 levels. I don't know how many levels deep her 100 and some thousand people went, but I'm just going to go down just 8 levels with Voyage, and I want to show you something truly amazing. So if you go down 8 levels, you start with 3, and those 3 get 9, and those 9 get 27, those 27 get 81, and so on and so forth. Down 8 levels, you'd have 9,800 people in your organization. If you are just an ensign with Voyage, you will have already made $1 million. But if you did it as a lieutenant, you'd make 1.2. If you did it as a commander, you would make 1.4. If you did it as a captain, you'd make 1.7, and as an admiral, 1.9. In other words, with her company, she was at the very, very top of her food chain, in the top 5. She'd made several $1 million. And She had 150,000+ people in her organization. With Voyage, with just 49,000 people with this compensation program, your net income is somewhere around $7.3 million. Take the time to do the math. You will truly be amazed. Imagine that number times 3 if you had 150,000 people in your organization. And with Voyage, you don't have to run around the globe and do a bunch of hotel meetings or do any of these types of things. You can sit at home and do it all in your bunny slippers and your house coat. It's an internet-based business. You can do it all over the telephone, webinars, and so forth. You can do it all and make a serious amount of money in Voyage. Now, in addition, one of the attractive parts, our compensation plan is brain dead simple. It's not complicated to understand or to teach to someone else. With many other companies, people get confused on how they get paid. They therefore don't bother to get paid because they don't bother to go to work. The confused mind always says no. We made certain that our marketing plan could be explained on a napkin, a bar napkin, in 3 or 4 minutes, which it can easily. Currently, with the global recession, paying an auto ship of $200 a month is a monkey on your back most people don't need, and we don't have. We have a one-time, lifetime fee. And of course, the biggest attraction to Voyage, more so than anything else, you don't need a lot of people with us to make an awful lot of money with us. That's Voyage. So that's our opportunity. It's not expensive. When you look at $545, the cost of a pair of shoes or a night out or a couple of tickets to a show or something, you either can invest in this and take wonderful vacations the rest of your life, or you can continue to shovel money and pump money into cheap hotels with just a bed and a TV set for the rest of your life. Now, don't kid yourself. If you don't do it today, you won't do it tomorrow. And at the beginning, I said, you be the judge. Does this make sense to you? If it does, why don't you take it? Get back together with whoever invited you here. Say, listen, this makes incredible sense. I'm wasting money right now. I'd love to take these marvelous vacations. Let's get going. What's the next step? Get me signed up. I want to get in, and hopefully you'll want to do the business. There's a great deal of money here in Voyage on the business side of it as well. This is not a tough business to attract people into. Most people, the second that they're turned on to it, they want to participate. They just can't believe it's real. Okay, so you have to explain how we operate. For over 33 years, the core engine of Voyage has been putting together these hotels around the world and all of these different resorts and working these deals. And one of the precursors is we cannot advertise. So the people you talk to have never, ever heard of us, ever. Right now, this is a ground floor opportunity. We just introduced our compensation program last month only. We're only 30 days old in the entire world. We are probably a good year away from our genesis, okay, when most people have heard of us and so forth. But before that time, before we hit that tipping point, the people that get in first, the people that start to go out there first and throw their rope around the stallions, the builders, the really good recruiters, the people that really want to build a dynasty, those are the ones that generally hit the pavement first, start to talk about it, and generate an enormous income for themselves, which will be a walk-away income. Remember, this is a passive income that you can generate, so you'll have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month coming in a year or two from the people and what they're generating below you. This may be the first time in your life where you find yourself in front of a wave. And when you get in front of these types of waves, if you do something with it, there's a chance that you could tremendously help the way you take your family vacations in the future, but big time, the family income. We can certainly impact it, even if you're working us in a part-time basis. Thank you so much for being on the call. Until we meet again, everyone, bon voyage.